Hi guys, welcome to Finding Sanctuary. My name is Karen. Today I'm going to be talking about gratitude and my gratitude journey and how the practices that I do within my spiritual practices and my life, how they all add up to different stages of gratitude and work together to be able to really build a foundation where I have a grateful life, and I express that in many different ways. So I wanted to start by expressing gratitude to Jennifer Pollett. I've hoped I've pronounced that right, Jennifer. Thank you so much for asking for this video. I'm really happy to be able to share with you my journey, and I just hope that along the way you may find some value in some of the things that I say. So some of the things that we'll be looking at in this video is the different ways that I've expressed gratitude and the different tools that I've used to do that. So sometimes that's been through drawing, sometimes that's been through photography, sometimes that's been through the written word, it may be the verbal word, it may be a visualization of all the gratitude that I have in my life. So I'll talk about the different stages of my journey and how the different tools came to be and how they often will come in and out of my life to be able to support me wherever I am on the journey of gratitude. So my gratitude journey has not been an easy one. It's been one that's gone backwards and forwards through different stages, and sometimes I've felt like I've really made leaps and bounds in how gracious I am and how grateful I am for the things that I have and the things that I enjoy in my life, and other times I've felt like I've gone backwards in that whole experience. So when I describe to you today the different tools and the journey that I've had, it may feel like it's kind of gone forward and then taken 2 steps back at different times, and that's because that's absolutely what has happened on this journey. It has been one that has continuously seen a lot of growth within my life and a lot of ability to express gratitude and to really have heartfelt gratitude for the things that I have and the things that I enjoy and the things that I experience. And then there's been moments when things have been really tough where that ability to be able to express gratitude has just not been there. And they're some of the toughest moments that I've had to look for to be able to find those things that I'm grateful for. But when I find them, they have been some of the most instrumental moments in being able to pivot where my thinking is and my feelings are, to be able to switch them around and have them looking towards the positive side of life rather than the negative. So gratitude is something that I've always tried to practice. I don't remember a time when I haven't tried to be grateful for the things that I have, because I know that no matter what I'm going through in life, there's always somebody who may have it more difficult, have a tougher situation, and there's always things to be grateful for, even though there have been times in my life where I haven't been able to directly see that in front of me due to the clouded vision that I have and the thoughts that may be going through my head at any particular time. But I really do like to add gratitude to my life and to try and focus on the glass half full rather than the glass half empty. So my biggest struggle in the beginning when I was working with gratitude, and I decided I wanted to document it and I wanted to make it a habit and become a real ritual within my life, is that I tend to be a perfectionist. So I would start a gratitude diary, and it would be one where I would write down things that I'm grateful for. And what I found was when I was writing what I was grateful for, it would start off really well. And then because I love to write, I would continue, and then the whole sentence or paragraph would start to spiral down, and it would no longer be a statement about what I was grateful for. It was just a statement about what was going on in my life, and that was not the reason for trying to write my gratitude diary. So often the perfectionist in me would throw the diary to one side, and I'd say, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, it's not for me, and I would stop doing it. But it came to a stage where I was doing a lot of work on myself and my self-esteem and looking at how I could up-level my vibration. And I came to the point in my life where I realized that it didn't matter if I started something and I didn't continue with it. I could always pick it up at some other point. The fact that I had stopped, or I'd moved away from it, or I had channeled my energy into something different for a time and period didn't mean that what I had done was a waste of time. It just meant that I needed to choose to refocus back on the path that I wanted to go on. And that's how I really began to get a grip on gratitude and to really make it a daily practice within my life, and something that I was continuously doing and something that I was continuously growing the process with. So my first real big step into being able to build gratitude into my daily practice and into a ritual was when I decided that I was actually going to draw my gratitude. Now, I know that may sound silly for some, but I remembered when my children had been at school that the art teacher had said, instead of having them write a diary each night so that they could express what was happening with them, give them the opportunity to draw. So I remembered this and I thought, okay, I'm going to see if I can stick with drawing my gratitude each day. And I found this to be a really therapeutic and easier way to be able to capture the things that I was grateful for. Now, I'm absolutely no artist, and my pictures, they mean something to me, and they have a lot of meaning to me, but they're certainly not something that, you know, would rock somebody else's world. That's not what they're drawn for. They're purely as a reminder for me of the wonderful things that I was experiencing. And what that did is it allowed me to focus on what I was drawing and not try and put it into words, because I love to write, and often I find when I write, I just want to keep writing and then things spiral out of control. So by drawing what I was grateful for, I had a lot more control over keeping it in the positive and keeping it upbeat and really expressing what I was feeling through the images that I was drawing. So I'll show you some of those images now. So these are the 2 diaries that I had for drawing, and I'm not going to go through all of it, but I'll just give you an idea. You can see here that it's all in here. So I'll just show you a little bit here. This is what actually started my journey with drawing for gratitude. So this here was Saturday the 6th of January. It was a really tough time that I was going through, and a really difficult space for me and my family. So my husband decided that he was going to take me away. He wanted to do something special, and I decided that since I felt that was the only really great thing that had happened in my life for a really long time, I was actually going to take that pivotal moment and I was going to start drawing the things that made me happy. So here we have Saturday the 6th of January, and this is in 2018. And we went and stayed at the Tall Timbers in Smithton, Tasmania, and the room number we had was room number 60. So I drew a tree here and I tried to make it look like the Tall Timbers. We went to Pub in the Paddock at Paigana, Tasmania, and we seen Priscilla. And yes, the pig really does drink beer. I didn't give the pig beer because that's not something I would do, but the pig drinks beer. So here we have Muscle Row Wind Farm. I absolutely love the wind turbines, and it's something I've always enjoyed. So my husband booked us on a tour, and we were able to go and see the wind turbines, and that was something that was really special for me. And then we spent another couple of days away, so I'll just show you some more of these pages. So here on the 7th of January, we went to Bluff Hill Point in the Tarkine and the Edge of the World in the Tarkine. So I kind of drew things that made me think of that. We stayed at Eagle Rose Rocky Cape in Tasmania, and Helen Robinson was the lovely lady that had the Airbnb there. And then we went on a road trip through the Tarkine, and I listed all the places that we had been. And it was just a really joyful time. And what it allowed me to do is it allowed me to capture those days without having to write about them, because trying to write about what I was grateful for hadn't worked for me in the past. So by doing it this way, I was able to capture the things that were really great and put them in here in a really simple way. And every time I look at them, even years later, it makes me feel really happy and grateful for the wonderful experiences and the things that we got to share. So I'll just show you another couple. Living on 20 acres with only tanks for water. Water in the rain tank is really vital and something to be really grateful for. Find balance in nature. I just loved how this tree came up for me. And the thought for the day. I work with my angels to replace my old insecurities with new empowering habits to realize my worth as a human being. The more I cherish myself, the more I can value, law, and help others. And this was a card that I pulled out of, actually it wasn't a card, it was out of one of the books by Doreen Virtue. And I just opened the book, and that's what the message gave me. So I wrote it in here because it was really poignant in the space that I was having that day. So as you can see, the progression of my visual diary, my drawings, was that I started to get time poor and I didn't have as much time as I liked. So it went from being very colourful in the beginning to being just drawn in black and white. And that's how the journey progressed with this diary for quite some time until the next evolution came. And what happened was I ended up just drawing the things in pencil, and I never got time to actually come back and finish doing them. But I certainly continued with the journey, and I have everything in here. And the same goes on in this one. This one here is all just in pencil. So what occurred is once I was doing these diaries and time started to get really poor, I kind of switched to the next style of diary that I was using to express my gratitude. And these are these ones here. Now I'll have a look at the last one here because there is a couple of pages in the back that I didn't fill in. So these books here gave me the opportunity to be able to look at my gratitude practices and where I was focusing and how I was headed by looking at the morning and the evening. So each day I would open up this book, and in the morning I would do a morning meditation, and I would put today's focus and affirmation for today, what I'm grateful for, what I'm excited about, how I'll make space for gratitude today. And that gave me a really great foundation to be able to move forward in my day. And that used to take me anywhere from a couple of minutes to maybe 10 minutes to be able to write each one of those. And as you can see, they're all in here. And they're all in this one too. So of an evening, I would come back and I would do my evening reflection, and that allowed me to look at the good things that were happened today, things I did to make a positive difference today, and then I got to put down how I felt and a positive thought to carry me to sleep. Now, this is the second book that I had, and each one lasts for about 3 months. So this was a 6-month journey for me. Give or take a few days. But what I found was in the very beginning, when I was doing the morning and evening sit down and document my gratitude, how I felt really shifted. So in the very beginning, in this particular book, a lot of how I was feeling was over on this side. So that's neutral, insecure, discouraged, drained, sad, scared, angry, annoyed, anxious, stressed, or overwhelmed. And the more that I used this diary and the more that I did my morning and evening reflections, the more I felt that this was the side that I was turning to. So I was more happy, content, proud, hopeful, loving, connected, balanced, joyful, relaxed, creative, and excited. And there's 2 spaces here for you to put other ways that you may be feeling. And for me, I would use words like I'm feeling awesome, I'm feeling rejuvenated. And they were the kind of things that I was putting in here, which I found really, really great. So at the time that I was doing these 2 diaries, I was also encouraged by my husband to step outside with my camera. I had a DSLR Nikon D90, and it had been in the cupboard for quite a number of years. And he said to me, because I loved photography, to pick up my camera and go out and take a photo of anything, just to get me out of the house and get me out of the rut that I was in. So I used to go outside and I used to take a photo, and initially I would just go out and click the camera. I mean, we're on 20 acres, we have beautiful views, but my mind just wasn't there, and I'd go out, and to me it was the same old boring stuff that I was seeing each day. None of it was interesting, none of it was, worth noting. But I took a photo, and what I did is I actually found a beautiful community in 365project.org, and I decided that I was going to do a photo a day project. So I joined up on that community, not thinking much of it, and I started to upload my photos per day. And what I found is that people actually started looking at them and commenting on them. Now, the progression of my photography from those early stages to now is just immense. And the things that I have learned and grown through are just incredible with my photography journey. But the most important part of all that was that while I was taking a photo a day, it grew to something that I really strive to do. And because I had these wonderful people commenting on the photos that I was doing and really expressing some lovely things, it gave me the joy and the drive to be able to really stop and look at where I was and truly appreciate what was around me. So there was a real period there where my gratitude each day was expressed through the photographs that I was taking, and I really didn't put any words with it. I might have described what it was that I was taking a photo of, but through that 365 project, what happened was the evolution continued to grow and evolve. So my photograph was just put up and I would say a little bit about it, and then it grew to actually expressing gratitude with the photograph. And it was a really interesting process for me, because initially I'd take a photograph and then I'd express gratitude for things that had happened in my day. But then all of a sudden I was taking photographs, and the next thing I noticed was what I was writing about those photographs actually came from the photograph itself. I know that may sound a little bit funny, but I would take this photograph and I would upload it to the 365 project, and then I would find that what I was writing and the gratitude I was expressing kind of came out of nowhere, yet it reflected what was in the image and what it was that I was grateful for. And those connections were very interesting. And I'm going to put some of them up here so that you can see them, and I'm going to read through them for you. This is a photo I took at a local cemetery not far from where I live, and I called it, "Though you have passed, may you live on in others." The finding resting place of Marjorie Hart in the year of 1893. Hard to read, but I think that was the year on the gravestone. What is life? What is life if it is not for us to be remembered, to belong to something much bigger than ourselves? to have touched the world with our unique grandeur, to be called upon with fondness and loved by those we left behind. What is life if one is forgotten, pushed to the back of people's minds, lost within the darkness to which they remain inside? Life is to be lived, to give of a generous heart, to care openly and to make a difference with our deeds. A carving of moments that are forever etched in the minds of those who carry us forward while holding together their past. May we be reflected on our passing by future generations through kindness, compassion, tenderness, understanding and a giving heart. May we be a visible undertone, a recalled loved one, and a treasured piece of someone's story, forever in the moment safely tucked inside the hearts and minds of those we left behind. Today I'm grateful for the loved ones that have touched my life and moved on. Many of you I have the pleasure of knowing through the sharing of time and space. Others were carried forward through the generations into my story, providing a strong and solid foundation for me to walk upon, sharing a legacy full of love, hope, courage, kindness and beauty. And that was an entry in my photographic gratitude diary from the 26th of May 2020. So I'll share with you now this photo. It's taken from my photographic gratitude diary from the 12th of August 2020. And I named this photograph Mail Delivery. A letter is so much more than words on a page. It's an opportunity to connect to another living soul, an individual so unique that there is not another person like them on the planet. As the words jump from the page, they twist and twirl, forming a connection and creating a version of the writer that only the reader gets to enjoy. The inner thoughts and feelings of another mind laid bare, so raw and honest, thus providing an opportunity for another to truly get to know someone. What a beautiful soul this one be. I heard your voice. I felt your sorrow and your joy. I travelled to your lands and seen the world through your eyes. I am truly blessed. Today I am grateful for the beautiful letter that landed in my mailbox. It was a lovely surprise that I am so happy to have enjoyed. So as my gratitude journey continued, I dropped in from drawing things to writing things to photographing things, and I would shake it up a little bit, and depending on how I was feeling, depended on what I might have done that day. But they're the three practices that I mainly stuck with for quite a long time and a number of years. But then I found that I wanted to expand the gratitude and I wanted to bring it into my home and into the hearts of my family. So what I did is I said to them one night at the dinner table, okay, everybody's now got to say three things they're grateful for. And as you can imagine, young children, husband, all around the table, they're like, what is happening here? But it's become a ritual that we really enjoy, even though its early stages meant that people didn't know what to say and didn't really know how to express their gratitude. But nowadays, this ritual is embraced, and when we say three things you're grateful for, everybody makes sure that it goes around the table 3 times and that everybody expresses it. And the really fun thing for me is that over the years, when we've had other people come to enjoy a meal with us, often the kids will say, all right, 3 things you're grateful for, this is a ritual we have, and you guys need to join in today because you're here for the meal. And I really love that about this practice. So I just want to share with you this book, The Gratitude Project. It's by Smith, Newman, Marsh and Keltner. It is a book that I really enjoyed. It's set up in different parts, and I'll just read you what those main parts are. So part 1 is the roots and meaning of gratitude. Part 2 is the impact of gratitude. Part 3 is how to be grateful. Part 4 is how to be a grateful family. Part 5 is how to foster gratefulness around you. And the final part, part 6, is conversations about the transformative potential of gratitude. And within each of those parts, there's different chapters that look at different things. But this is a really great read and has a really great amount of information. And I really enjoyed it. And it helped me understand gratitude and how it works and the benefits of it, as well as the challenges that you sometimes face. So if anybody's interested in learning a little bit more about gratitude, The Gratitude Project is definitely a great book to read. So another thing that I've included into my gratitude journey is writing letters. So I'm not sure if any of you have ever heard of it, but writing a gratitude letter to someone. So this is something that I've done for quite a number of people. So I've written the letters, and depending on who the person is and the relationship I now have with them currently at this point in my life depends on whether I have actually sent that letter to them, and some of them I have, and I've had really great responses to that, and they've been people that I haven't had any contact with for quite a number of years. So I found that really surprising and a beautiful outcome from writing the gratitude letter to them. But I also have gratitude letters that I've written to people who have passed, but the fact of writing the letter is more for me rather than for them. Now, I believe that whatever whatever I put out into the universe comes back threefold. So I love putting out positive things when I can, and I just love the opportunity to be able to express gratitude to these people, even though they're no longer here in this plane with us, to let them know that this is how I feel. And I felt by writing it down and then actually reading it out loud was really a beautiful experience for me. And I also have some gratitude letters that I've kept that I've never sent to the people, even though they're still alive and even though they could easily be reached if I wanted to, because I feel that by sending these gratitude letters, I'm not sure what can of worms I might be opening. So I've just got them there. They're sitting there. I've been able to express what I needed to express to be able to move forward in that part of the gratitude journey for myself. And they'll probably just remain there, and one day they will either be burnt or just, I don't know, I think I'll just burn them. But right now they're sitting there and they're staying there. But the actual process of writing that gratitude letter, whether I sent it to the person or not, or whether I've just kept it, the impact for me personally has just been fantastic. So another practice that I've done in the past, and I haven't done it this year and I probably should, I still have the jar that I continuously use, but this is a jar that I use for my gratitude jar. So what I normally do is at the beginning of every year, when something I'm really grateful for that's kind of a little bit out of the ordinary, I would write it on paper and I would put it in here. And then at the end of the year, I would pull out all the fantastic things that are in here and I would read them out to myself. And sometimes I would read them more than once, depending on what was happening. But I really enjoyed that process, and I'm not sure why I haven't done it this year, but maybe that's something that I'll start from now moving forward. It really is a beautiful way when you look at this jar and you can see that, you know, as you keep putting things in, it gets fuller and fuller and fuller. When you're having a really bad day and you're not sure, you know, how you feel or what to be grateful of, I always used to look over at the jar and just seeing all the things that were in there, even though I couldn't necessarily read them, but I seen the pieces of paper and I seen how far the jar was filled, really made a massive impression in my life and was really fantastic. So I think the most beautiful thing that's come out of this gratitude journey is it's been a really long and hard one, and I had a whole year there where I focused on the word gratitude, and that's what my whole year was about. But I think the most beautiful thing is that the more that I do it, the easier it becomes, the more natural it is, and the easier I find to be able to express my gratitude to people directly at the time that I need to. So when they've done something that has a beautiful impact on my life, or something that I'm really grateful for, or an experience that I've had, I actually can just express that verbally and put that out into the world. And sometimes it's directly to the person, and sometimes it's just of a night when I'm getting ready for bed and I just thank the universe for whatever it is that has happened in my life and for what I'm grateful for. So right now my gratitude journey has me predominantly just expressing what it is that I'm grateful for, but I still tend to write things down. I still tend to photograph things, and I still tend to draw from time to time. It is a practice that has ebbs and flows, and I'm really okay with that. In the past, like I said at the beginning of this video, that's something I never would have been okay with, but right now I'm really okay with the fact that I am living in a state of gratitude, and I love what I have and I appreciate what I have, and I'm really thankful for the people and the experiences and the situations that I encounter and the learning and growth that comes from that. So being able to be in that space is absolutely amazing to me, because it wasn't that long ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, that I really struggled to be grateful for anything. And if I could get out of bed in those times and say I was grateful for getting out of bed, that was a huge accomplishment for me. So if these days when I can be grateful for so many things, it really is an amazing journey that I've been on. So I hope that wherever you are on your own journey with gratitude, that it is something that is gaining momentum and picking up speed, and that it is adding another layer and another level of positivity and love and growth as you continue to journey along that path.